What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of RGTP. I am your host, Lewis, and with me, as always, Mr. Mamba. New name?
Unfortunately.
You got
What's
a
going?
new
Yeah,
name?
it kind of goes with my personality, which is LSU.
It does. No, it definitely does. Mamba, we are here because it is Friday, and every Friday, we talk
We
about
try every
a
Friday.
lot has gone on. Last time we were on was post WrestleMania. We saw one of the worst Raws ever. Jay White
Thank
debuting
God it's gotten better.
AEW. A lot has happened, but let's get to one of the biggest things going on in WWE
Oh, okay.
at the moment. We are going to Backlash in Puerto Rico. The main event has been set. The American Nightmare Cody Rhodes takes on the Beast Incarnate, Brock fucking Lesnar.
Yes.
Who would
Yeah.
have thought this was coming?
No one. Literally no. Well, I mean, maybe
Woo!
when Brock came out and he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be your tag partner." Maybe that was when people were like, "Oh shit, something's about to happen between the two," right? Because Brock doesn't like anyone. Why would he team with Cody Rhodes? It didn't make sense. The hopefulness in me was like, "Oh, this is about to be a fun ass tag match, right?" But obviously, that was killed.
Mm-hmm.
And I, I have mixed reactions about this. Like, Cody needs this win. Cody will get this win. Hopefully, like this should be just another chapter in the story for him to get his way into the rematch with Roman, for him to win. But there's just that little part that's like, it's Brock Lesnar.
Right.
And even if Cody loses to Brock Lesnar, it's like, it's Brock Lesnar, but
Okay.
I don't think Cody should be losing this match if
Right.
the end goal is him holding a championship. If like he lost to Roman at Mania,
Yep.
if he loses to Brock at Backlash, and if the rumors that's been flying around are true that they are going to be making a new world title for whichever brand, and the idea is to give it to Cody, you're going to give it to someone who's coming off of back-to-back losses. Granted, they are two of the biggest stars in WWE. But really, back-to-back losses for a person. And the complaint with wrestling is there's no new stars. When you look at all the wrestlers, they're all older. And I'm not saying Cody's the youngest person. He's obviously
Right.
not. But you can't make stars if you're not willing to put them over your already established stars.
Yep.
Like, please, Cody, just win. Please,
He's
Triple
fine.
H, just let Cody win. Vince, please stay away.
He's gonna
If he has his way, Brock's winning.
He's
And you be
gonna
your owner.
win. A highlight of the night gonna be the way he reverses out of an F5 into a crossroads. It's gonna be beautiful.
Okay. I can
It's
see
gonna
it.
be
I can
beautiful.
see that.
Oh
That'd
yeah,
be nice.
it's gonna look nice. Cody will walk out of this victorious, unless the plan is to sort of play this out over the summer, which I'd be very surprised if they sort of.
Can I get your thoughts on Cody beating the shit out of security guards?
It was all psychological. Their story has been built more off of the mind games. Brock destroys him. No one does anything. Next week, fast forward, Cody wants his revenge, and apparently everyone does everything humanly possible
Right.
to stop him. And Cody addresses that in his interview after the fact. It's like, why me? Like, what is going on against me? Sort of this
Right.
conspiracy theory against him, against him of, it's all being mentally played. There will probably be no physicality until Puerto Rico, and I'm okay with that.
I felt so bad for the security guard, man. They were just trying to do their job. Like, they were just there to stop this man. And even after Cody already beat the shit out of him, he comes back to the ring to beat the shit out of him even more. I'm like, are we trying to make Cody look like a good guy? Because I get the initial, I'm trying to get to Brock, beat the shit out of him. But then after, he's just continuing to beat him. Like, he is trying to sell. He is willing to take it as far as he needs to, why didn't he do a dive onto the entire crowd?
Yeah, no, that's
You
what you
know, like go
said.
to the top rope, show that you are willing to do whatever. It is Brock Lesnar. You're
Brock,
standing across from, right?
right?
And then he comes back and he's just beating the shit out of security guards with a steel chair. That they were just there to do their job, man.
They should have minded their own goddamn business.
It
Is what they
was their
should have done.
business. It's what they got paid for.
Yeah. No, this should be exciting. Exciting to see the main event play out. What's next for Brock? We are trying to figure out after Omos what he was going to do. Now, obviously, it's Cody. We're sure to see him go dormant a bit over the summer until, of course, Detroit rolls around the corner and we see what he does for SummerSlam. Cody going to go red hot into the summer, into SummerSlam going forward. We'll talk about the possibility of a new world championship being added. We'll address not just the WWE draft, but a potential shakeup in AEW rosters. We're going to get to that a little bit later on. But from one main event, WWE, to the next, we got NXT Spring Breakin' is headlined by the new NXT champion. He is him, Carmelo Hayes, in his first official defense against the ever so confident Aussie.
Yeah,
The
that's
gold
an understatement.
drinking Grayson Waller in a rematch from, I believe it was Heatwave for the North American Championship. I can't remember if it was Heatwave or not.
I don't
But
remember shit from last
a
week, man.
rematch from last year. They duked it out for the North American Championship. Carmelo Hayes walked out victorious. Fast forward a year later, they are officially plunged into the main event scene, fighting for the big gold. Mom, but what are our expectations out of this match? We've seen the AEW Pillars story sort of transpire. We won't be talking about that this week. We'll get to that more next week as Double or Nothing continues to grow. But these are sort of the NXT pillars, the Braun Breakers, the Grayson Wallers, the Carmelo Hayes, and obviously the Tyler Bates. And we're seeing more of the young talent influx in throughout NXT. But the future is bright for the still semi in transition NXT.
Yeah. What if Braun cost Carmelo this match?
Okay,
Like
maybe.
that just popped in my head because I can see Carmelo and Grayson being called up with the draft as well. You know, and it's whoever loses, just like it was with Braun and Carmelo, they were gonna get called up. Now it looks like maybe holding on. I'm not sure where they're going with it, right? But I do expect this match to be good. Trick is gonna get taken out, and if it isn't Braun getting involved in the match, he's gonna take Trick out after his match with Andre Chase. You know, but yeah, that promo battle, it got me excited for the match. Like Carmelo and Grayson, they were going back and forth, and I would say I enjoyed that promo more than the Carmelo and Braun. Like, yeah, you're great. Yeah, I'm great too. You know, like, yeah, this feels like they actually have heat with each other. You know,
Right.
like they both want to just tear each other apart, show that they're better than each other. You know, but I do like the idea of Carmelo maybe dropping that almost immediately because of Braun. You know, and that can lead into what Carmelo said, that they're destined to do it forever. You know,
Right.
like that seems to be the way a lot of feuds are. We got Ilya and JD, Cesaro and Sheamus when they made the bar. You know,
Kale and Sammy, yeah.
Sheamus and Drew. You know, like Sammy and Kale. Yeah, you know, they're Kyle O'Reilly, Adam
Randy and
Cole. They
Cena.
always end up fighting. You know, yeah, like Carmelo and Braun seem to be there too, that they want to link together for the future as well. And what better way than Braun costing the man? And then Braun's like, I don't even care about NXT anymore. I'm out. I screwed you over. You screwed me over. I'm done with it. Goes to SmackDown. Carmelo goes to Raw. And Grayson Waller gets to be a shit-eating heel on NXT.
Right. I hear it. I definitely do. I already told you what I think is going to happen. I think Carmelo Hayes will retain, but Braun Breaker will inevitably be standing tall at the end of the night, probably
Most
hitting
likely.
Melo with the spear to further continue whatever they're going to do. When is their call up for either one of these three men? I don't know. We're obviously going to be waiting. Draft is in next Friday. It begins.
Yeah, I believe so.
So we're gonna see, and obviously we get
Which
call-ups throughout.
NFL draft starts Thursday, right?
Yes. Oh, that was apparently very much so intentional.
Yes, I saw
Uh,
that as well.
yeah, it was very much so intentional to get all the hype going in. Hey, my lad, Jimmy, thanks for popping,
Jimmy.
Jim Nick. But yeah, I don't. Braun should still get called up. Hayes maybe next year. Waller will definitely have to
Yeah.
wait and see. But Braun, I think
Waller's ready right now, dude.
ends the night. Yeah, no, he's definitely.
If anyone in NXT is ready for the call up, it's Grayson Waller.
I hear it. I hear it. It's definitely. I mean, we're still waiting. We're waiting for guys like Cameron Grimes who are sort of just still been
Yep.
waiting to get called up. So it is tough. It
You
is.
know how I feel
You
about
got to
that.
find
I
some.
literally said they need to take like 10, 15 people out of NXT and put them in the draft. I feel like there's so much talent that's ready to like show the bigger crowd because as great as NXT is, not a lot of people watch it like they watch Raw and SmackDown.
Right.
I feel there are a good amount of talents in NXT that are ready to come up. And they maybe should just, even if it seems too early, like Apollo, just try it, you know?
Yeah. Jim Nick, was that the one up here up by West in Webster? I think Tony
Ooh.
Atlas was up on was at that
Oh,
one. Yeah, they had an event up by my city up over here. Tony Atlas was here, Brian Pillman Jr., a
nice.
couple other they were coming over here for the weekend. Or a couple days ago. But yeah, no, NXT is in a good place. Gonna be interesting to see what going forward. Moving onward, though, we got some news out of AEW Bullet Club, but not just
Yeah.
any Bullet Club. Jay White and Juice Robinson have
Guns up.
officially started Bullet Club
They need to call up
Gold.
Arm Man. He already got the Glock. He got the Glock ready, man.
Bullet Club Gold is officially in AEW. We know the runs and the ties of the Bullet Club and the Elite run very much deep inside
Yes.
AEW. LPL Phantasma has been kicked out by David Finlay in New Japan. How many more of the New Japan faction, comes on
Right.
overseas, or do we get existing Bullet Club members that we already know exist just merge into Bullet Club Gold? Mamba, how are you feeling about this whole thing? We're fans of Bullet Club.
Of
We like
course.
Jay White.
Of course.
We
I'm a
like
fan of everything, to be
Robinson.
honest.
So what are we gonna see? Because in a little bit, we're gonna get to the faction war that is going on, and not just AEW, but WWE also.
Yeah.
A lot of
Yes.
storylines mixing and intertwining in both companies. Bullet Club prominent position in the main event scene, or are we just kind of seeing the
It's
sort of
tough, right?
yeah,
It's very tough because there's so many people that it's like they need to be a champion. No, they need to be a champion. Well, they need to do this. We have Adam Cole versus Chris Jericho going right now, which
yeah, we're gonna get to that debate.
that
Yep.
was insane.
A lot of shit going on.
Jay White and Bullet Club just as a whole, I don't expect them to go the heelish route like Blackpool has gone, where they're just beating the crap out of people, you know. But I'm always for multiple people being heels together because they can just gang up on people
Right.
and it makes the baby faces just come in and it's like, good luck. It's stacked against you. And when Ricky Starks finally gets his hands on Jay White, you know that match is going to be a banger.
Yep.
You know, Sean Spears versus Juice should be a good match. Sean Spears versus Jay White should be a good match. You know, whenever we get the Ricky and Juice match, that's going to be a good match. Like, there is a lot of pressure on not just AEW, WWE as well, trying to get those main event stars their proper shine, you know. But I think just, all the wrestlers know if we can tell a good story, if we
Right.
can give the good matches, if we can just give the people just a little bit to see what we can potentially do, I'm perfectly fine with that because it's not. We need a champion to change every month, every week. MJF should hold this title for as long as possible. If Jay White's the one to take it off, amazing. If it's not, that's fine. Whoever it is will have deserved that win, right? when you see all the talent,
Right.
it's great. And I'm
Yeah.
perfectly fine with waiting and seeing what they do with it all, like we need patience. If you don't have patience, life is pretty tough. You ain't got patience. So just wait and see. Just wait and see. Yeah. Yeah, we'll go with that.
Wait and see. I like it. I cannot wait to see we don't Bullet Club ties run deep in WWE, AEW, New Japan,
Oh yeah.
Impact, where fans of Austin Bay are
Ace Austin and Chris Bay. Yep.
Chris Bay. Yes. Just interested to see what the hell is going to happen going forward. As I mentioned, the faction wars continue. Jericho Appreciation Society has sort of teamed up with
They
the
beat the
Outcast,
hell out of them.
and they beat the hell out of the lone couple. That's all there
Yeah.
is. It's only Adam Cole and Britt Baker. DMD.
Kyle!
Jamie Hayter was nowhere to be found. Kyle O'Reilly nowhere.
Call up Bobby, man. I know he ain't doing anything.
It's like it's like a 10-on-2. What
Yeah.
the hell
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
so where is all right. So I get where the stories mix. The heel women have beef with the top
With Brett,
baby face. You know what I mean? Like I get it. I get it. So it's just like because WWE, you know what I mean? We're gonna get to the WWE
Yeah.
side of the
Yep.
faction.
Yep.
So I get it. But like in the WWE side, it's a little bit more, it's like a lot more even. This is like totally lopsided. Where is the end game for it? JA Outcast versus Cole and Britt, because it is one of their most featured prominent feuds right now. Because you've watched All Access. I think everybody's at least tuned in a little bit of All Access.
Like 1.5.
A little bit here and there.
Bit.
You get the gist. Britt Baker, Adam Cole. You know what I mean? We get the gist.
Sammy Guevara, Ty
the
Conti.
stars of.
Yeah.
Is this just a way of highlighting that?
No, I think this is a way to get Anna Jay and Ty in a prominent feature because, like, they mention it. Sammy and Ty are like at a bar, and Sammy's like, "Do you regret showing up on on screen with me because you were like over? You were like," and she was.
Maybe.
I firmly believed at one point Ty was so over they maybe could have had her beat Jade. Like that's how over Ty was with the crowd. And obviously, a week later, she's coming out with Sammy doing the heelish stuff and she's disappeared. But if you have Willow, Rio, Sky, Hayter, and Britt, you have the Outcast, which is Ruby, Tony, Saraya, and then you just slot in Anna Jay, Ty Conti. You don't have to go outside, which Mercedes would be great to join them. Nia Jax,
we're trying to figure that out.
Changed my tone on Nia Jax joining. Could be interesting. Trinity, if she could show up. But just use the people. Yeah. They also said that was a little too much money, and it's like
we're trying to figure out
the eyes that she would bring in, you would make your money back for sure. The merch you could sell as well with her, they would make their money back. Just stick in house, put the people with JAS with the Outcast because that's the way it looks like it's going.
Right.
And you already have the Ruby history with tying them. You have Willow on the other side with the history. Like it's just combining stories, and then you can go wherever you want from there. If you want to do Ty and Anna versus Tony and Ruby, and it just gets more eyes and puts more people that probably deserve to show up a little bit more, on screen for us. And then, I mean, you could even, if you don't want to do those 5 for the AEW originals, you still have the Bunny and Penelope, but like they're kind of heels too, But it's interesting. They definitely cemented Adam Cole and Britt Baker as the top faces with that, because that was
their
hard to watch at points.
Yeah, that was definitely their main thing. Yeah, I can see where the women sort of just group up together because it makes it 5. They're trying to figure out their 5 on the women's side. We've been trying to figure out how that was going to work the whole time. So mixing sort of stories together makes sense. On the flip side of things, the males though, Adam Cole literally has nobody.
No one. Yeah, Kyle's still in
most people would think maybe the Elite, but they're busy with something else. We're gonna
Yeah,
get
that ain't
a little bit.
happening.
The Elite are busy doing other business.
They about to have some in-house fighting too between
Like,
themselves. So
there's a lot going on. Bullet Club is obviously going to be heels. Last time we saw Jay White and Adam Cole in the same ring together, they weren't. Yeah,
they weren't friends anymore.
hitting a sling. I think he had hit his
Yeah,
finisher
he
at the end.
did.
But
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
yeah, Kyle's still gone. Bobby asked for his release, and he's gone. Adam pretty much left with none of his friends, and he came back, and he has
Keith
none of
Lee.
his friends.
He's got Keith Lee,
He
man.
got Keith Lee. You know what I mean? Like, what is next? Like, what can he do? Who can he get? Is he gonna make a just
Kyle and Keith are
is he
the first two.
calling out?
Like those are the first two. No,
Well, he still needs
no.
that doesn't even do any. Well, I guess you
Yo, Keith Lee,
out of the
he's
story.
taking out Cool Hands and Daddy Magic by himself.
Well, he needs somebody for them because Cole takes Jericho. Hager goes against Lee for whatever purpose.
It's two big bodies. That's the purpose.
And then you have 2.0 sitting there, so he still needs two people.
Oh man, no. See, I told you Top Flight for Ricky. If Top Flight would be great for that.
Yeah, they're all burned up.
Yeah. I don't know. I really don't know.
Even if Kyle comes back, they're still pretty much down 2 to 3.
Yeah, they're down 4 people pretty much.
Like they're still
yeah. LAX you could maybe call on, or Pride and
I don't know.
Powerful.
I don't know.
What was their name?
Yeah, Pride and Powerful.
Okay, it didn't sound right, but Santana, his contract was talked about. Not sure what's happening with him, but why not? They were a great team. They have history against Jericho,
Right.
I'm trying to think of another tag team that AEW might have.
It's tough.
What if Keith Lee was to bring in his friends? Shane
Taylor and Promotions.
Maybe. Yeah. And I think they were cool after the Swerve match. They were seen hugging. So
yeah, a lot of weird stuff.
It happens. Swerve tricked them. He made them believe that Keith was a piece of shit, but in the end, it was Swerve who was a piece of shit. It happens.
A lot of shit going on with Swerve. Poor guy.
Yeah. He just needs to go back to WWE, be with Hit Row, doesn't he?
Whoa, I don't know. Maybe he's gonna try this thing out with the Mogul Embassy, and we'll see what the hell happens there. But yeah, definitely interested to see where the JAS Outcast relationship goes. Who Adam Cole calls on because he's
call on Tony Schiavone, man.
Tony Schiavone, who just hates
Tony Schiavone.
Get Excalibur in the ring. Get Taz out of retirement.
Exactly. They can have beef on Rampage, man. Jericho's on commentary with them.
Oh my God, maybe. But beef continues. The Blackpool Combat Club versus the Elite. The Elite, who are also being called the Amateurs.
Yes.
This story
has
a lot going on. There has been a lot of blood spilt without a single match. Like there hasn't been a single match between this group. It honestly hasn't even been made official.
Oh, well, they had Cutler and
oh God, that doesn't even count.
I can't say his name, but they're part of the Elite. It does
that
count.
Doesn't even count. That doesn't even
They were tired of being disrespected and having their friends getting beaten for no reason other than the Blackpool Combat Clubs are pieces
the Elite
of
Blackpool Combat Club. Still haven't seen. We haven't even seen the full 4v4 standoff yet. We haven't seen Hangman go side by side with Kenny Omega, pound for pound.
That's gonna be lit.
Full gear. Not even like 2 years ago. Full gear 2 years ago. Like this is money making moments. Making moments. Hangman obviously got the screwdriver to the face. Kenny tried to repay the favor. We saw Konosuke Takeshita be enthralled in this, and that's where I started asking you. Does Hangman join in? And Blackpool get a new member? I saw someone say
I don't know who they.
I saw someone say Takeshita betrays the Elite and joins Blackpool. Takeshita.
Oh my God! No way.
Flipping sides was a suggestion. Because
put Bandito with him. He ain't doing anything.
Bandito with Blackpool. I don't know.
Yeah, Bandito versus they had Bryan Danielson against Bandito. you have Bandito face Moxley one week, and then you have the Elite interrupt that match, But you got to make sure Moxley's bleeding because he only
No.
wants people he bleeds with,
Yeah, no,
And
it's
then he can face Claudio in ROH, and then it's like, bet you're one of us now.
nope. They need that.
It's not.
They need it done now. They can't wait all that time to set up
Yeah.
these
I don't even know who
matches.
they could go for to join there.
There's not a
I
lot.
would love O'Reilly, but
Right.
Adam Cole needs him so much.
Yeah,
more
adding
than Blackpool.
Takeshita over Hangman was rather odd, unless they're gonna do the whole Takeshita injury angle, and he gets injured,
Ooh.
and that way they put Hangman back in as sort of the step up, and then maybe Takeshita chases after the
Right.
Blackpool Combat Club later. Could he potentially be ROH champion? Dethrone Claudio over the summertime?
Yo, Takeshita I like that. I think people would be on board with Takeshita being Claudio.
Yeah, the faction war going on at AEW just continues to thicken out. This is most likely leading to Double or Nothing.
Yeah.
4v4. Are we going to get an Anarchy in the Arena Stadium Stampede? Like, what are we going to get? Are we just going to get a traditional
We're going to get a lot of chaos and destruction.
A lot of blood.
A lot of blood. Yeah.
A lot of
someone might lose an eye,
awesome.
Maybe a finger, a toe. Yeah.
No, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. WWE Faction War, on the other hand, we have the undisputed tag team champions of the world, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, newly joined by a returning Matt Riddle, who, of course, has beef with the Bloodline. Currently, Roman Reigns taking his time, coasting until Saudi will not be at Backlash. Solo taking prominent role of the dominant singles. Pretty much just the dominant singles. Usos in line there, but of course, they're feuding together. On the flip side, the Judgment Day has been feuding with the newly established Latin World Order, led by Rey Mysterio, and Paul Heyman and the Tribal Chief decided to make a call. Scratch my back, I scratch yours. We take care of each other's problems. Solo Sikoa squashes Rey Mysterio, but on the flip side of things, Judgment Day could not quite get it done in their 6-man.
How are you supposed to beat those three?
Oh, yeah.
There's no way Roman Reigns should have thought that they were going to be able to beat them and be able to handle that.
Tag champs, former tag champs, rising stars, women's champ is involved in this. A newly established faction. There is so much going on now being mixed in literally faction war, faction warfare. And it's hilarious because I did see someone say this just feels like something they stole from AEW, because AEW does this. AEW does do their faction warfare. They have groups, they make them prominent on television. WWE barely does tag team wrestling justice until
changing of the guard, man.
Until
Triple H understands what the people want. And when you have all these talents, why not put them together and see what happens? You got a faction with the Maxine male models, Sure, we haven't seen Marseille Mansoor, but they're pretty cool. But LWO coming back, dude, and the fact that they came back for more than just one night, bravo. A round of applause for WWE, man, because I never in a million years would have thought we would see LWO back. And the fact that they are not only going up against Judgment Day, who is at 1B, 2 to the Bloodline,
Yeah.
And the fact that the Bloodline is not acknowledging LWO, but they do know that LWO maybe one day could be a problem. So we'll get rid of them for you. So we ain't got to worry about them. Santos is my guy. I didn't even know until last year that he was King Cuerno in Lucha Underground. And honestly, the fact that it is, King Cuerno was my guy. He was my favorite one in Lucha. So the fact that it's Santos, I hope Santos is the one who beats Roman.
The name is so familiar, but I'm really trying to
red mask, red and black mask.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look, because I felt the same way when I figured out Swerve was
he wore the deer head as well.
Yeah, I gotta look that up.
Dang, you don't remember that?
I gotta.
King Cuerno was
There
dope,
was a
bro.
lot going on in Lucha
Lucha,
Underground. Like
honestly,
that
I think
motherfucker.
Lucha Underground might be my favorite all time.
They
No
were so
cap.
crazy. Underground was doing a lot of crazy shit. I'm definitely gonna have to look. I remember the name King Cuerno, but yes, the Latin World Order was established. A
You
few
got Bad
weeks
Bunny
ago.
joining them. The singer for America the Beautiful joined them. They got some stars, man. You don't remember that?
No,
You know, Zelina went up to her. I think beforehand, it was like, here's
oh,
a LWO
I
shirt. They put it on like Twitter. It wasn't really shown.
I remember that. Actually,
LWO is great.
they are out here and they're taken seriously, like you said, not after just a 1 night, 1 week, 2 week type of thing. They're in the main event scene with the number 1 and number 2 heel factions and the tag team
Yes,
champions.
women's
Literally.
champion. Yeah,
And then you're led by a Hall of Famer, Rey Mysterio. It's looking good. Let's just see where it leads to maybe the end of the year. We'll see where they're at in SummerSlam and reevaluate
yeah.
this. Because Judgment Day for a while, they were a little bit lost. They dropped Edge, brought in Balor. We can call
Santos versus Austin
we
Theory
can
at
call
SummerSlam.
the I'm dead. We can call Mania to Mania last year to this year, sort of their 1 year run. Pretty successful. Pretty
Yes,
successful.
I
You
agree.
know what I mean? Ray beats Dominic, but Dominic gets on the WrestleMania card. Charlotte walks out champion. Finn does lose his Hell in a Cell match to Edge, but has a strong showing. And Priest will obviously most likely be in a match for Backlash in Puerto Rico. So all is
Yep.
going well, and I feel like Latin World Order can have a very similar impact. Where right now, getting hot, it'll probably cool off, but towards a year from now, we're looking maybe Santos is a champion. Maybe
I
there's
hope
a tag
so.
team championship reign with him and Rey Mysterio lurking somewhere. I think
Oh,
that'll
come
be
on, man. They got Joaquin and I
man,
can't
I'm just
remember his other name, man.
Del
I
Toro.
can't.
You don't even
There
want
you go. I can't. Okay. I remember Joaquin because I watched him in Impact. Okay. I remember him when he was
that's not it.
DJ Zima.
Right, that wasn't
Yeah,
his
like
name.
DJ
Big
Zima Ion, I
Crazy.
believe, is what his whole name was, and then it turned into he was lit. Great X Division champion.
Great. And look at him now. Barely do. Looks
Potentially a tag champion, okay? Because they're the tag team of
they're the tag
LWO.
team. They're the tag team. You're right, but we'll have to wait and see. And of course, the main thing announced by Triple H and now being speculated on the AEW side of things: drafts, roster splits, new championships, new television show in the case of AEW. Of course,
Yes.
WWE has tried the draft on numerous occasions, dropped the draft, resurrected the draft, changed things up, added NXT into the inclusion. They've tried a multitude of things. I think we know more or less what to expect here. We're waiting for some big call-up names, some big stars to change brands to sort of add the mix that we're going to need heading into the summer, into SummerSlam, heading into Royal Rumble, and of course, WrestleMania season next year. It's the Big 40. Mom, but what are
Yeah.
we expecting on the WWE side of things? Are we looking for any particular call-ups, any major stars to switch
We ain't
brands?
got the time for me to name all that, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. My biggest idea is that you can bolster a certain division on each show, right? And the women's tag titles are still done no justice, if
Right.
we're being honest. And it's really because it's the lack of tag teams and the lack of staying together as a tag team. It's like we lose the titles once, we're done. We win the titles randomly because we were just thrown together, like they need to just commit to the idea that
Drop
y'all
them.
have women's tag titles. And I would love to see a women's mid card. And if that's you probably got to do away with the tag titles, honestly, because then it just gets a little too much and they won't know what to do. But I say you can make a crazy women's roster where you have Charlotte and Becky and maybe Ronda and Shayna and like the bigger names, the more veteran names on Raw, right? And you put Aaliyah and Dana Brooke, who I guess they hate for some reason, and they don't want to see any signs for her at all.
Yeah.
And Lacey Evans, I know people don't like her, but like you take the bigger names, you keep Bianca there. You have Bianca versus Charlotte. You have Bianca showing like dominance over the roster. And then on SmackDown, you have Liv and Raquel with the tag titles, and you have Candice and Indy. They can be a tag team. Candice and Tegan could be a tag team. You put Nikki and Alexa back together on SmackDown. You know, like they can, if they commit to, okay, we don't need to showcase everything on both shows all the time, and they actually stick to the brand split. And I think the brand split lasted what? Maybe
Barely
2-3 years.
barely last. It don't last long.
And then they were, but that's usually how it goes. They're like, yeah, we're gonna do the split, and it lasts for a little bit. And they were talking about doing trades, and no trades ever happened.
Right.
I think maybe one time we seen, oh, this person is now on this show, and this person's going to that show. I think that maybe happened once, and I couldn't even tell you who it was. Right? They have to commit. That's mainly my thing is, if you do it, commit. Yeah. Don't. Okay, now they're going to show up on here, combine the titles, put that on one show, make whole new sets pretty much for the other show. Maybe not the women's titles, keep them separate.
Right.
But damn, I would love some new designs for the titles too. Like, I get the whole marketing aspect. You want your logo to be front and center, so people are like, oh, what's that? And they Google it, and it's like, oh, that's what that is.
Right.
It's fine if you're just use that as your promotional title. It doesn't have to be your on-screen title, you know? Like, you can still make that title and send it to everyone. It's like, oh, okay, let me see what that is. And then when they see a big, beautiful title that looks nothing like that, and they're like, oh, wow, that looks really cool. Like, that looks amazing. Let me see what they do with it, you know? Like, new title designs and commit is my thing.
I hear it. Main thing, let's get some women's swappage. Move Charlotte to Raw and move probably one or two of Alexa and Asuka over to SmackDown. I think that would be very much so justice.
Keep Damage Control together, please. I know they're probably not, but it'd be pretty great if they could stay together.
Control, you can move Charlotte and anybody else. Swap Charlotte and Asuka. Send Dakota to SmackDown. Call up Roxanne to SmackDown. Call up Roxanne, get her on SmackDown, move Dakota Kai and Asuka to SmackDown together. I think those three would immediately help right away. I also think Dana Brooke should probably move to SmackDown. You can move Charlotte and Lacey Evans.
I think they just want to move her out of the company.
Nah, you can move Lacey Evans and Charlotte on over to Raw, and that's totally fine by me. On the men's side of thing, I would have wanted Cross to go over to Raw, but it looks like he's going to stay in SmackDown in the meantime. It's probably due up for Drew to probably move over to Raw and start feuding over there, or it's about time to call it quits on the Brawling Brutes versus Imperium. That's ran its course for about a year. Maybe move the Brawling Brutes on over, something like that.
Well, a title switch, US going to SmackDown, IC title going to Raw. It is usually a thing that happens with the draft.
Don't do it. Absolutely don't do it.
I hear it.
Gunther and Imperium need to stay on SmackDown. They are the highlight week in and week out, especially if we're going to keep Roman Reigns as our champion and keeping dormant the Intercontinental Championship sort of run SmackDown. The tag team championships have sort of been the mainstay of Raw when the Usos were doing it, and now we see Kevin Owens and Sami sort of taking the reins on Raw. Those have been
just combine them, make them purple.
You know, the US titles
205 Live
floating around.
Yeah.
Excited for the draft. Ilya Dragunov, potential call up. JD McDonough, potential call up. Von Wagner, potential call up. Indy Hartwell was
keep that man in NXT, bro.
Well, apparently,
I get they want him to main event WrestleMania. No. Obviously, not next year, not the year after that, or the year after that. But they need to figure out something with him and Robert Stone, because
I'll give him like
Robert Stone. He was in Impact. He was when he debuted. He had a Jersey Shore woo, gimmick going on.
Yeah.
And since he's been in NXT, he hasn't done anything. Like, he's managed Aaliyah, And who else? There was another woman with Aaliyah, and then he went to Taya, and then he probably went to someone before her and someone before Aaliyah, and now he's with Von Wagner, and he even told him like, "You lose to the Dragon, bro. I'm done." And then Von Wagner's like,
Not done.
"No, my daddy was a Hollywood hillbilly or something like." I forget what team he said. He said my dad wrestled, and then Robert Stone was like, "All right, that's good enough for me. Let's get back together." And it's like,
Hey, cut him some slack, man.
okay,
He's not just big and strong anymore. All right.
yeah, I
Cut him
guess.
some slack. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what the draft does. Kicking off next Friday. Rumors, number one pick. Thoughts on number one pick? Who could it be?
It shouldn't be Roman. Roman should be like when they did the draft the first time. I think it was Taker was the champion, so he wasn't allowed to be drafted, and then like Austin wasn't allowed to be drafted. So Roman shouldn't be allowed to be drafted. The number one pick to Raw is Cody Rhodes.
I was just gonna ask, we're gonna see Cody swap brands twice. Like, is he gonna get drafted to SmackDown to start the night and then get drafted back over to Raw?
They pull a John Cena, bro. People are gonna be pissed. Those networks are gonna be pissed, bro.
Who knows? Who knows? But of course,
I don't think he's
from one company's draft to the other, AEW Saturday show, 2 hours, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Collision is supposed to be main front center stage. The main man of the show is set to be a returning CM Punk. Of course, there's been talks of having guys like FTR joining him, Jericho Appreciation Society potentially joining over there. The Blackpool Combat Club would be a bit separate. The Elite would be separate. Just sort of the people that want to work with Punk would go over to Collision. The people that wanted to continue to work with the EVP
I don't like it.
Stay in.
I don't like it.
I
don't like it because they have Punk being the front center.
Oh no, that's not why I don't like it.
I
wouldn't like it if it's really that's what it came down to. Just we don't want to work with that guy. Put him over there. We're gonna
we're gonna create an entirely new show
to like figure out. I know there's only one thing that they can do, and I'll say it here, and I'll say it. I've been thinking about this. Keep Dynamite. You keep ROH on Thursdays. You completely drop Dynamite, Rampage, and you just do 2 hours of Collision. You can film like 30 minutes of Dark in between Collision and in between Dynamite, so you have an hour to put on YouTube. That's about it. We don't need 2 hours of YouTube. We don't need an extra hour of Rampage on TV trying to follow up SmackDown. Focus on flushing out your 4 hours of true television for your new 2 rosters and figure out what ROH roster is looking like. Because then that's 3 rosters. Are we just going to have champions bouncing back and forth everywhere? A guy's going to be pulling triple and double duty every week.
Some will.
It's going to be tough.
Some will. Some definitely will.
Well, you won't have to do that if you just get rid of all of the fucking extra shit that goes on Evolution.
Yeah, but when you look at it though,
because then you have who is it that's on the Horsemen, JD Drake and Peter Avalon, like those guys can now be on Collision and actually start feuding. Do you know what I mean? Like you will actually start doing things, and we don't have to worry about just all the shit. And it just
you also showcase talent that doesn't get TV time, and it allows them to try and get over with the crowd. Yeah, no, for sure. I do agree that with a new show, they will need to rearrange their schedule if they're not willing to drop anything. I saw apparently this new show giving them like $52 million a year. That's fantastic.
It could be great.
That's fantastic, but if the whole reason for this is to appease Punk and appease Warner Bros. Because they want Punk back and stuff, like you can work with people you don't like, and obviously their altercation escalated to something that never should have happened.
And animal abuse.
It never should have happened, but you got Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker, who it seems like they can never work together either, you know? You can be respectful and not like the person you're working with, right? And when you're in the entertainment business, and Punk is a huge name. Everyone knows who Punk is. He is a draw, rightfully so, wrongfully so, right? Like, he is great.
Yep.
But if you are splitting a roster for people who like Punk to go to this show, and for people who don't like Punk to go to that show, that seems like bad business to me.
It is.
Like, hey, the 52 mil, that's cool. But everyone's going to look at it and be like, well, that doesn't seem like a situation I want to be in. I'm not likening it to it, but it feels like a Vince situation where people are so worried, like, I might lose my job. You know, like, what's going to happen with me? What if someone just literally doesn't want to deal with it? You know, like, they understand both sides, and it's like, all right, now you got to choose which one you want to go to. And it's like,
Right.
don't make me choose. I don't want to choose. Hopefully it doesn't get to that point, you know, but like, it seems bad business. Yeah. Like, it's kind of iffy for me right now.
I hear it. I agree.
I'm all for more wrestling, but
yeah,
maybe not like this.
No, all I ask is you do whatever humanly possible you can in Collision, and you try to regroup your own version of the SmackDown 6. CM Punk, FTR, Darby Allin, Ricky Starks.
Wardlow?
Maybe not. I'll probably lean more towards like Powerhouse. Maybe moving Powerhouse.
They did him so dirty, man.
Exactly.
Powerhouse, I'm so mad,
Ricky,
man.
Darby, FTR, CM
Bullet
Punk.
Club.
I think that
no, they probably stay on. They probably stay on.
They probably stay. Yeah, they probably stay over on Dynamite. Blackpool Combat Club. If House of Black, you know what I mean, is down to do whatever, I think House of Black could have a very prominent role on Collision, being a sort of dominant heel faction there. You know what I mean? We have to even see if this is real or not. Like, is there an actual brand split? Is there a soft split? Which a lot of people thought are what's rumors will sort of be. You know, I think like 50% of the roster will only be split. Another 50% will like float back and forth or whatever it is that they're going to be doing. Sort of like
you can have the talent from Dark going back and forth because that just gets them more exposure.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah,
but damn, man, one altercation has caused an entire new show potentially.
yeah, like it's kind of crazy.
It is insane.
Cannot believe that shit. Make sure we just gonna stay on top of this shit. We got Double or Nothing around the corner. Gonna figure out what the hell's going on. We'll get the announcement of Collision at some point. Forbidden Doors around the corner. It's AEW's looking to shape up. It's looking to shape up to be a prominent.
And the storytelling's been pretty good.
Yeah, it's looking to be a strong summer for AEW going forward. And of course, the flip side of things, WWE, newly named King of the Ring, has been changed to Night of Champions in Saudi. We have Backlash coming up. We know Ford Stadium in Detroit will host SummerSlam. So all that's cooking up. And
O2, getting Money in the Bank. Wembley, getting all in. Nice.
It's heating up. Wrestling is looking good. We have to wait and see what's going on. That's not to include what's going on in NXT. Spring Break-In's going to be heating up.
Impact's going pretty good right now. You know, New Japan, Mercedes over there talking about moving to Japan, learning the language. Yeah.
There's a lot going on, though. There's a lot going on in the world of wrestling, but make sure to tune in at our newly scheduled time Thursday for all of our sports content. And of course, fine Fridays, we'll continue talking about wrestling. Bomba, let the good folks know what they got to do.
Like, comment, share, subscribe, follow on Twitter at RGTP.
It's that easy.
We never do it, but you know, got to plug it.
Easy, man. Have a good one and have a good night.